President Donald Trump has signed a bill rescinding $9 billion in previously approved federal funding, primarily targeting foreign aid and support for public broadcasting, according to CBS News and OPB.org. White House spokesperson Harrison Fields confirmed the bill's signing on Thursday, marking the first time in decades that Congress has approved a presidential request to revoke already allocated budget appropriations. The majority of the rescinded funds were designated for foreign aid programs, while approximately $1.1 billion have been set aside for the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, which supports NPR and PBS. These funds typically help sustain over 1,500 local public radio and television stations across the United States. The White House framed the legislation as a test case for future rescissions and indicated that similar funding rollbacks are likely to follow. Officials also criticized the public broadcasting system, claiming it carries a political bias and imposes an unnecessary financial burden on taxpayers. While many conservatives have long opposed funding for NPR and PBS, lawmakers from rural areas voiced strong concerns, warning that reduced support could force local stations in their districts to shut down. On foreign aid, the administration argued that scaling back U.S. contributions would prompt other nations to take more responsibility in addressing global humanitarian crises, and that the decision reflect a prioritization of American taxpayers' interests. Democrats, however, strongly opposed the move, warning it could damage the United States' international standing and open the door for increased Chinese influence in regions affected by U.S. aid cuts. They also cautioned that these reductions could have devastating consequences for vulnerable populations around the world. In response to criticism, the final version of the bill omitted a proposed $400 million cut to the president's emergency plan for AIDS relief PEPFAR, aiming to ease bipartisan concerns. To garner further support, the Trump administration pledged to explore alternative funding options for rural broadcasters. Republican lawmakers described the measure as the first in a broader initiative to reclaim government spending they characterize as wasteful or misused. Trump's funding cuts and policy shifts. This latest move is part of a broader pattern under the Trump administration, which has aggressively reduced funding for several federal agencies and international programs. Soon after taking office, Trump withdrew the U.S. from the World Health Organization, WHO, and effectively dismantled the U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID, shifting many of its responsibilities to the State Department.